Oh, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Ducks Nose Sports. This week, we are my third installment of my NFL previews, as I will preview the AFC North. Should be an interesting division with a lot of good teams. Teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and upcoming teams like the Cleveland Browns, which is where I will start in this preview. The Cleveland Browns have been down on their luck the last, let's face it, decades. Since they come back in the league, they've been really press luck since they come back in the league. Has not had much success, but I think times are changing in Cleveland because I really like the way the Cleveland Browns are going. Last year, really not winning a lot of games, only winning 4 games last year, but really improving. Getting a bona fide receiver, which I'll get there in a minute, talking about Josh Gordon. Proving on their defense year in, year out. Their defense gets a little better every year, and I really like this defense. This is really a top 5 defense in the NFL. Like, their corners are unbelievable. They can get to the passer. Cleveland Browns defense, very underrated defense, but the game changer with the Cleveland Browns and their organization will be the day at the 2014 draft when they drafted Johnny Manziel, because this guy is a straight up winner. He won in college, won in high school, and he will win in the NFL. And it's a shock to me how far he fell in the draft. I mean, this kid, year in, year out, consistency in his rookie year in college, winning the Heisman Trophy. That doesn't happen every year, folks. This kid is special. Yes, he's a little small. He does scramble. And yes, there is the off-season, football field incidents. That's probably why he fell in the draft. But ignore all that, because this kid can straight up win. This kid, given the right circumstance, could win a Super Bowl. Sure, is he a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or even Aaron Rodgers? No. Not saying that. But is he like a Russell Wilson, a Kaepernick? He's that kind of guy, because he can beat you with your arms and his legs are explosive. Very good quarterback, and I really like Johnny Manziel. Like I said, I think he's a winner if they can run the football, and if Johnny Manziel can connect to a receiver, because he's probably throwing to Josh Gordon anytime soon, because it looks like he's gone for the year. But I still think they will stop Johnny Manziel, and I think the Cleveland Browns, as crazy as this sounds, not even with Gordon. Gordon shows up for the last couple games, that's perfect. But even without Gordon, with this defense, with Johnny Manziel starting from day one, which he should be the starter from day one, don't get anything twisted. He should be the starter from day one. Like I said, the defense plays the way they can. The Cleveland Browns are a playoff. That's right, they're a playoff team. Cleveland Browns, I believe that highly in the Cleveland Browns. I think the Cleveland Browns will be in the 2014 NFL playoffs. There, I said it. Moving on to our next team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, the biggest question going into the year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, are they too old? I mean, year in, year out, Pittsburgh Steelers, probably one of the more consistent teams in the NFL, probably next to the Patriots, only next to the Patriots, but Pittsburgh Steelers, year in, year out, are that consistent team, but they're not the same Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, if you look at the last couple years have not been good. They've shown their age. Big Ben is a good quarterback. He used to be a great quarterback. He used to be that clutch guy in the NFL, but he's kind of lost a little bit the last couple years. Not the same guy. Still a good quarterback, but to be faced, he's lost a lot of targets. I mean, it seems like Mike Wallace left, Brown left. I mean, a lot of guys seem to leave Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, they seem to leave Pittsburgh. It seems like he always has to do fresh receivers, and after a while, he just can't keep doing that. Big Ben's still a good quarterback, top 5 in the league, no doubt. But he isn't that elite guy anymore. He's not that top 3 guy, which I believed he was a couple years ago. And with a defense that just seems to get older and older every year, a quarterback who's good but not great. I just don't believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I think it's going to be a rough year for Pittsburgh. Not saying they're going to win like 2 games or anything like that. That's not going to happen in Pittsburgh. They're still going to get it. They're going to get the 7 to 8 range. That's what they're going to do. They're going to compete week in, week out, because they still have one of the best coaches in the league in Mike Tomlin. But The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't what they used to be, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are steadily getting worse and worse every year, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will miss, again, the playoffs. Moving on to our next team, the Baltimore Ravens, kind of the mirror images of the Pittsburgh Steelers in a way. A team that used to be great. A team used to have a strong defense, but every year gets older and older. And they're not the same teams they won. Like 2 years ago, they won the Super Bowl, and since then it's been a downhill decline on and off the field. The stuff with Ray Rice during the offseason. You know, him allegedly beating his wife. I don't want to get sued. Allegedly beating his wife, but we'll miss the first 2 games of the season for that. And just Joe Flacco used to be a really good quarterback in the league. But ever since he won that Super Bowl, maybe it's gone maybe because he got the money or whatever. But it just seemed last year just wasn't on the same page. Baltimore Ravens team that will still compete, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will still compete. They'll still get their 8 wins. Compete for the division title. But moving forward, I believe the Baltimore Ravens steadily get a little worse every year. Ray Lewis ain't there anymore. Ed Reed ain't there anymore. You know, they're not the same team. You know, Terrell Suggs isn't what he used to be. That defense is getting worse and worse. Got an offense who's average. You know, they can score a little bit, but, you know, they're not going to light the world on fire. And a quarterback who I've never truly believed in Joe Flacco. Yes, he won a Super Bowl, but that might have been despite of Joe Flacco, if you really think about it. And I'll be the Baltimore Ravens this year, in 2014, will miss the 2014 playoffs. Moving on to our final team who won the division last year and then cracked down the playoffs, the Cincinnati Bengals. And the biggest question going into the year has to be, is Andy Dalton the guy? I've always been an Andy Dalton fan from day one. During his rookie year, when people were saying everybody was Marvin or Cam Newton, I said Andy Dalton will be a better quarterback in the long run because he's more consistent. And I haven't jumped off the Andy Dalton bandwagon quite yet. I still like him. But you have to think, time in, time out, playoff game after failed playoff game, you have to start to question, is this the guy? Does he got to get done this year? Because this is a Super Bowl ready team. This is a Super Bowl built team. They got it all, man. They got A.J. Green, stud wide receiver. They can run the football. They got a top, 2 defense in the league. Top 5, top 2. That's how good the Cincinnati Bengals defense is. But it seems like their only thing to be holding back is their quarterback. I still believe in Andy Dalton. I still believe the Cincinnati Bengals will win a Super Bowl one day with Andy Dalton. But it has to happen now. It has to happen quickly. I think Andy Dalton has to get off to such a good start to the season because he ended the season so badly in that playoff game. So bad in that playoff game that he has to really come back in this game. And I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are still a playoff team. They're still a Super Bowl contender. Will they win the Super Bowl? That will be interesting. We'll talk about it down the road. But the Cincinnati Bengals are still the best team in this division. Like Andy Dalton or not, Andy Dalton is not a problem. Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. And I believe the Cincinnati Bengals will not be the same without Andy Dalton. I believe the Cincinnati Bengals will be a team to be reckoned with in 2014. Okay, now, how will the division shape down? I'll give you how I think it will shape down from top to bottom. No, from bottom to top. So number 4, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right, Pittsburgh Steelers don't usually come in 4th, but I believe they're just too old, and Pittsburgh Steelers will come in 4th place in the North this year. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. Both 2 franchises probably battling out a couple of years ago for number 1 and 2, but now battling out for 3 and 4. Number 2, that's right, the Cleveland Browns. I believe in Johnny Manziel. I believe in this team. And mark my words, this team will be in the playoffs in 2014. And number 1, I got to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're still the best team in this division, best defense in this division, and hey, maybe the best quarterback in this division. Maybe. But that's how North breaks down. But my next video, I will be talking about the NFC North. That'll be an interesting division, talking about the Packers, the Bears. Really like Bears this year. Detroit. And of course, Minnesota. New coach, new QB. Should be an interesting year in Minnesota. But till next time, I'm Dux, and I know sports. Kind of.